Oh, where's the video?
There it is.
Hey, we're on and intro. We are back. It is episode 143 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me, as always, is the great
Carcass John.
and continuing to be new and improved with
Scott Waters, as always. But today I'm Scott Yo Mama Waters.
Scooter Waters, as I like to call him. But, kids, we have a guest today who's joining us for our topics, which he is very excited about. Paragraph from, I'm going to get this right, ManifestIV, Secret of Boris,
Yes.
and Lame.
Yes.
Did I get all that right?
Too much metal for one hand. Yes, sir, you did.
Damn right.
Thank you for that.
Damn right.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
So here we go.
Five fingers aren't enough.
Thanks for joining us, man. It'll be good to get to know you
Likewise.
as we go through the topics, and then we'll talk about the bands and all that. But let's start out with some shout outs. I will kick us off real quick. I am going to shout out the gods of capitalism, eBay, and here's why.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Metallica. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about them later.
Yeah, that's later in the show, though.
eBay is actually where we bought our tour bus, but that's another story.
I have been reunited with an old friend. It's not the original old friend, but as we do, we grow up and we start looking for shit we had when we were kids, and I found my original boombox on eBay. This is the exact model that I would record shit off the radio, and when I talk about playing Hellstar on the school bus, exactly like this. I bring my tapes and do all my shit. So my shout out is to my, my GE. God damn it. Sorry. Oh, damn. Sorry. That was too much. I know I do swear on here, but I didn't mean to drop that one. My General Electric model 3-5213A. Yes, I was thrilled to find this. And the hammer had a small hand in this because I was at his shop, The Freak, over in the HEB area north of Dallas-Fort Worth. And he had one similar but not the same. And so I could never figure out the model number. And so I took the first part of the model number, Googled that. Here we go. And it works. So that's it. Yes, I'm as excited as I look. Thank you very much.
So all the heads and everything still works, right?
It works like a champ. I couldn't believe it. I plugged it in, and it's just off like a shot. The only thing that sucks is the antenna's broken off, but I can...
In case you want some high-quality frequency modulation radio, like
exactly.
iHeartRadio. Yeah, real
yeah.
Totally.
You can coat hanger that one and make it work.
Oh, dude, but I rocked I was the king of metal until Richie, our buddy Richie Harris, brought one from Gracie Joe's barbecue, and it was like this big. And he completely usurped my portable metal throne.
And his was probably stereo, right?
So enough gushing about my little boombox. What say you, Car Crash?
I got really nothing. I did get to go to a show. I got dragged to a show by a good friend, and I was so glad that we were able to do that. And I got to see me reunite with Taylor, a friend from a blast from the past. And quick story, Taylor used to,
and it feels so
good. Yeah, it was awesome. I got to see his band ManifestiIV play. He and his wife their two bandmates have put together a really cool thing. And but Taylor and I go all the way back to when I first moved to Dallas in the 04-05 kind of vibe. And and I went to see, he said he was in a band. And, and most people, he worked at a framing shop. And I used to bring in these rock and roll paraphernalia things and get them framed. And he would always kind of go, ooh, man, that's kind of cool. Grand Funk Railroad. And so anyway, he claimed he was in a band. And I thought, okay, yeah, sure, he's in a band. Well, I went and saw their band, and I was so blown away that I basically said, you know what? If the scene is that cool, I'm moving up here. So they tipped the scale for me.
Now, what band was it?
It was Lame, and here it is. These guys are in white shirts and coats and ties, and I'm either looking for the bicycles or the funeral home. And no, it was Lame, and sure enough, when they hit the stage, it was like uber powerful, man. It was like overwhelming. Yeah, there it is. See,
we even got in a Jones soda bottle once. So we were like an American Rammstein, like 6 of us in suits, and I'm kind of the girliest one with the corset suit in the middle, of course. And yeah, we liked throwing people off by like looking really nice and then playing just this wall of just American Head Charge meets like Great Southern Trendkill meets like Stabbing Westward and Nine Inch Nails and Rammstein with all the electronics and just kind of a barrage or just a wall of fucking sound.
It was heavy. So needless to say, that tips the scale for me, and here we are again, and they played a killer set and then raced off and played another set in downtown Deep Ellum because they're road warriors. But anyway, Scott,
it was crazy. Very.
Scott, what say you?
I got a couple quick things I want to show. The new album's come out. The new Tango Down is out. It's fantastic. Okay. So what's this, number 5 or 6 for them now?
Yeah, I heard a song. It was great.
I got this awesome CD test pressing. I got this awesome CD test pressing of The Politics of Ecstasy from Nevermore that I've been playing over and over and over again. Somebody did a fantastic job of remastering that Nevermore album. But this is what I'm super excited about. $5 each. Ready?
What?
Grand Funk.
I actually got that.
Japanese pressing, Heartbreaker, and Mr. Limousine Driver.
I actually have that one.
Wait. More. Inside Looking Out and Paranoid. Japanese pressing.
I don't have that one.
And we've got, She's a Good Man's Brother and Heartbreaker. Japanese pressing.
See, we're gonna have to have a Viking raid to Scott's house. Now that Rob knows where he lives.
I do.
The Locomotion Japanese pressing. And one more, which isn't a Japanese pressing, but it's just as cool. Walk the Line. Great song. Grand Funk. And one more. You guys know that I like Aerosmith a little bit.
A little bit.
I listened to Pump earlier. It's so good.
Japanese pressing of Toys in the Attic.
Nice.
So did you go
to that?
By the way, somebody had mentioned
eBay, $5 each.
Somebody had mentioned, and Scott, you're the Japanese pressing king. I wanted to make sure I said the word completely, so I didn't get edited by Mr. Colwell over there. But someone mentioned last week that they could actually read my shirt, so I went the extra mile for our fans this week, and nobody's been able to read it, and nobody ever will. I can't even read it. I don't even know what it is.
I know the one, but I could never. It's the Omogusa Bora Blaga Bliga Duga Baga.
Exactly, that's who it is. It starts with an S, and they're from South Africa. That's all I know, and it's unreadable. Wow. This is like this is the creme de la creme, the coup de grace,
of tree band font names.
Tree band files and sticks.
God, yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. Well, speaking of unreadable logos, the Metal Roundtable unreadable logo will soon be available on a awesome little pin for your battle vest.
Whoa!
Yep, I ordered the traditional old logo with the sword. I ordered the unreadable logo, and I ordered one of the new metal
Skullface logo.
Yeah, so we've got some buttons coming, so I'll disperse those amongst ye. So let's get before we get deep into the topics, I want to give everybody I want to lay some groundwork and some history on what our guest Paragraph Taylor has done. So give us a quick lowdown on the stuff that you've done and where people can go to check out the stuff you've done.
I'm back. Yeah. Okay, so
See, he knows production value, having not ever been on the show.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. No. So the lame CD that Carcass was mentioning earlier is called Nothing Ever Works. It got grandfathered in, Nothing Ever Works. We're optimists, right? It got grandfathered into a CD Baby thing. So it's on all streaming platforms, and we have no way to access what we make, 1/1,000,000th of a cent every 1,000 plays or whatever. But yeah, it's the band Lame released this CD on 666, and that was on purpose to try to show how heavy it was, because it's like kind of the journey of a man, very like a la Downward Spiral, 9 Inch Nails. It's a track listing, Tolerance down to the end. The last song is called The End. It's about a guy thinking about the end of his life as he jumps off a building. It's fucking you could tell the Downward Spiral and records like The Great Southern Trendkill were a humongous influence on that. And what sucks is Suicide Note Part 1 didn't make it on here. I wonder if it's for time constraints to make it on 1 LP. I don't know. But either way, it sounds terrific. Okay, so Lame was a band for a while. And then around 2009, 2010, we got a cease and desist from Universal up in Canada. Hey, change your name or we'll sue ya thing. Wink, wink. Oh. I think management really just wanted us to change our name because they thought Lame was lame. It's like, that's the point. That was what we had people at Ridgely Metal Fest with, God forbid, lame is lame. That was the whole point, and they didn't get the joke. So we ended up changing our name, and we changed a lot of members to a band called Secret of Boris, like so. Same singer from Lame. Cameron Taylor, he's amazing. He's like Jonathan Davis, Phil Anselmo, and Morrissey all had a kid because it works. Also, maybe Dave DeHaan.
That's an odd mixture.
Right. No, because he could scream like Seth Putnam from Anal Cunt, but rest his soul, who shares a birthday with my wife Lilith, actually. But he can also croon like a fucking new wave artist, but over heavier than shit like breakdowns. So that's Secret of Boris for you. That's more in the American Rammstein direction.
Okay, I got you on. I found you on Bandcamp. So
cool.
Okay.
Yes, 2 of the 3 are on there. Yeah, Secret of Boris, and then the band that Carcass John saw us in on Saturday at Vulgarfest 4 at Haltom Theater is called ManifestIV, like you said, capital M, capital V. Side caps. Like another band that does side caps. I'm going to keep on busting this out. And Anthrax and Metallica. It was really cool. We're like, yeah, we need to have big letters in the end. Make it feel grand. Because we have very heavy moments and very not. Like the heaviest song I'd recommend for listeners and viewers of Metal Roundtable would be Arrival. It's off of our record called Horseman. And notice how that's when we grew to 4 members from just 2, me and the wife. 4 Horsemen, 4 tracks, Apocalypse. Anybody, catch the metaphor there. We thought it was an apt title because our bassist was wearing a Plague Doctor mask, and our wife, my wife Lilith, was spreading 16-foot bat wings at every show before COVID. So it's like we were ushering in the apocalypse. We're like, hey guys, by the way, if you see a bat, stay away. You might want to get a mask. And then everything happened, and of course our phone blew up summer of 2020 because we're the only band that wears masks. And they're like, hey, you guys are crazy enough. You're like punks from California, because Lame was formed in Dallas, Secret of Boris formed in Dallas, but ManifestIV was written in Dallas, and then I moved out to Vallejo, California with Lilith and formed the band there, and then we moved back here.
Okay. I've got you pulled up on, so secretofboris.bandcamp.com or
absolutely
ManifestIV.bandcamp.com. I'm checking out your merch right now while we're talking. And now ManifestIV is more of how would you describe that? It's kind of
a lot of people have called it experimental industrial because we have a 37 key 4-octave vibraphone that we use on stage. This thing has pickups on it, so every single key has like a little jack that you pull out and see. They have like a little, I don't know if you can see it very well, viewers at home. Little cables that plug into the collecting rail, and then down here at the end of the vibraphone, there's a box. Can you see my hand? Yep, that box feeds to a pedal, and then we feed it to a bass amp, and it's just like a guitar. In that it's on a Boss processor, GT8. So we do wah, delay, loop, and shit, and it's all like icing over the like extremely heavy cake, and it kind of throws people off sometimes. Like I like to think we don't look as heavy as we sound. I like to surprise people with that. It was the same thing with Lame when we were in suits, and they're like, "Holy shit!" ManifestIV looks like they'd be like a steampunk band or like something, and then comes out with like, "Oh my god!"
I will say, and was it God is a Martian or something?
Yes,
you came out
the
in
name
the crowd,
of this record.
Heavily head banging and riffing, super heavy, and of course he found me and we head banged together. It was pretty fun, just like the old days, fist pump, head bang.
Dude,
so it was surprisingly heavy, despite
yeah.
the kind of eclectic xylophony ambient feel. So if you're looking to change of pace, clean your palate, do whatever, clean your ears out, ManifestIV is the perfect setup for that. But
yeah, we're like Ginger at a sushi bar. We're a perfect palate cleanser, and if you ask for more, we'll give it to you. I'm serious. I ask for a bowl of ginger every time they give it to me.
Can you still get the Lame CD?
No, actually, this is one of the only 5 copies left. Still shrink wrapped. Hear that? Hear it? That's shrink wrap. Yeah. I have them all because I sent overstocked to CD Baby, and then they sent them back before people like actually really caught on to what was happening. Aside from Carcass John and a few hundreds of others, hopefully, like with the Metal Fest, because we played originally Metal Fest a couple times. One time with God Forbid, one time with Hope Fall. One of the first ones was Stillborn Nursery. The Destro, who's an incredibly heavy North Texas band that basically sounded almost like Pantera, but like just. Yeah, it's like if Pantera Rage Against the Machine got together. That's the Destro, maybe. They're incredible. The engineer that was doing the Lame record, he was recording the Destro CD at the same time, so we could, cross paths in the studio.
Okay.
And by the way, our friend John O'Garrett from Turbid North, who plays drums in Turbid North, also played for the Destro. So you can get a cool vibe for how heavy that is.
Dang, the Destro is bad. As the Coil Unwinds is the name of that CD.
That is a killer disc.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, so check out, you can't get Lame apparently, because that's the first thing
physically.
I was headed for. I'm Googling it, trying to figure out if I can find it. So I obviously that's going to be a dead end.
Unless you find me on Instagram, I might send you a copy.
Yeah, I'm going to need to get that. I've already got Secret of Boris and ManifestIV pulled up, so prepare to send me some shit.
Shall do.
Sounds like Lame needs a reissue.
Yeah,
snail mail. Did you just say, Taylor, I don't know if you know, but Scott specializes on his label New Life to Metal, specializes in reissues.
Oh, okay. No, literally, I was about to take the tracks to Alex Gerst, who's been doing all of the Secret of Boris recording. And he actually, the first Secret of Boris record was supposed to be the Lame second record. We went into the studio, all right, here's Lame record 2, and then that's when the whole lawsuit thing happened. So I was going to get him the files to make stems to make it remasterable, and we considered vinyl. So if you're into that, maybe we can,
I know a mastering engineer.
I know a mastering engineer who's awesome. So
for vinyl
and CD. Yep.
He's right above you, Taylor.
Gosh, Scott and I just did a bunch of stuff for labels that put out, King's X, Flotsam and Jetsam, Accuser,
Nevermore.
Okay, I will be talking with you about that. But since you mentioned King's X, I would like to, if at all possible, segue to Pantera Talks, where Rex Brown was playing with King's X at the Gypsy Ballroom, and Lame was playing at Gypsy Tea Room. and Rex walks by, like towards the restroom. Remember when they used to connect? For anybody familiar with those venues that
FCT, Ryan, familiar.
And he like was just walking by, and we were doing. Lane was doing "Push It" by Salt and Pepper, but push it real good. Boom, 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 boom. It was like Breakdown City, and like Rex like walks past. He's like this. He's like. And then he just keeps on going. To doing what he was doing. But he stops to break down and send a get your pull. And I was like, thank you. Awesome. Yeah. So anyway, Pantera is all over our DNA, our farm.
The metal gods have smiled upon us.
Yes. That's why we got this house. Because the address was 333. And we were like, Dime and Vinny are like saying, get this if you want music to be your life. And it has been ever since we've been here. So
that's awesome. Well, let's get into some Pantera talk.
Shall we?
So
yeah.
We are late to the party as far as chiming in on it, but it's our first chance since the news broke and everybody knows now. Pantera, we're going to get into the whole ball of wax, are reforming, not reuniting, obviously, for obvious reasons that we don't have to say. There is going to be a tour, and Pantera is going to include Zakk Wylde on guitar, which I have seen suggested since
like right after Dime passed,
and also Charlie Benante from Anthrax, and they're going to go out and they're going to do a tour. So first of all,
can they get a better drummer than that? I mean, geez.
Okay, that was my thing, because I love him and I love Anthrax, but like, come on, there's a lot of like 13 Steps to Nowhere. That's what I told the Pantera Instagram. I'm like, if you guys play Tranquil, I'll go, because like, you know, like that's, you got to have the Vinny swoon on that, and I'm sure he will. I'm sure he knows the pressure. I'm sure they both know the pressure.
Yeah.
Of the world. Well, looking at them being like.
So the backlash comes out, and it's like, oh my God, it's not Pantera without Vinny and Dime. The brothers would have been against this. Vinny was against it, but I'm going to give you my take, and then we'll go around the horn. I don't look at this as Pantera, and the reason I don't look at it as Pantera is because it doesn't have the brothers. The brothers founded the band. However, I truly believe this, and I'm echoing what Spicoli said on KNON the other night, but I absolutely have had this opinion, and then I heard him echo it, and I'm like, good, I'm not the only one. Pantera on the first three records with Terry put out some great hair metal, glam metal, hard rock, heavy stuff, cool, awesome.
Metal Magic, like 80s days. Okay.
Yeah. And it was great. I don't
wait. Before you go past that, do you really think that was hair metal? To me, it just sounded like metal.
Well, yeah. But
it looked like hair metal,
big hair,
but
and
it
all
sounded
that.
like metal. You're right.
But yeah, I thought it certainly wasn't Poison, that's for sure. But the thing is, they do the three records. They're great. Musical differences. It happens. I'm kind of regurgitating some of what Spicoli said because he summed up my thoughts very nicely the other night. Musical differences. Terry goes this way. Enter Phil. If you have Terry in the band, no disrespect to Terry, and they keep doing what they were doing, like Spicoli said, yeah, you make it to a Dangerous Toys, Lillian Axe kind of level. No disrespect to those guys at all. I love both of those bands, and they've both done well, and they've both toured the world. They're world famous guys. But the ingredient of Philip Anselmo and the heavier direction that the brothers wanted to go in, that brings you to a #1 album in 1994.
Right.
And Spicoli hit a home run with his point about what in the hell was going on in 1994.
Nirvana.
Paula Abdul. Pantera saved metal. And so here's the way I see it. Phil,
wait, did you just say that?
I know. I thought the same thing, but
okay.
Phil's just as much of a part of the ingredient that made it go as anybody. And so is Rex. And I think Rex is sorely overlooked. So here's the way I see it, and I'm going to let it go to you guys. Bring it on for a tour. Call it Pantera. Call it Pantera Tribute to the Gods. Call it Pantera AD. I heard somebody say that. Call it whatever you want. Go do the tour. Tribute the brothers, which is absolutely what they're going to do. Make it a celebration. This is going to be sold out. You're not going to have 17,000 people out there giving the finger to the stage. This is going to work. It's going to sell. People are going to love it. And cash grab, blah, blah, blah. Sure, of course, anybody that goes out and does business wants to make cash. That's what they do. So I don't have any problem with any of that. But like the guys said the other night on KNON, recording new music, I'm out. Am I going to go see the tour? Am I going to go see the tour? Man, I don't know. It's interesting to me because I want to see how they tribute the brothers. But thumbs up or thumbs down, I give it a thumbs up. I think they've chosen good players to do it. And I'm in favor. Apparently the estates of the brothers have bought off on it, although I know Vinny was against Pantera getting back together, so that's where the name rub comes in. But I'm in. I'm going to go see it. I'm interested. Don't do new music. I agree with Chaz and Spicoli and, oh my gosh, D-Rock. The other night I listened to that whole show, replayed on KNON, and I agree wholeheartedly. What do you guys think?
You want me to start?
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. It's been a long time coming. I don't have a problem with Charlie Bonatti. He's a quality drummer. All you have to do is go back and listen to Among the Living, Anthrax Among the Living, and believe me, he can play anything Vinnie Paul could have ever played. So, and I don't think they're reinventing the wheel here. They just want somebody that knows how to play the songs like they're supposed to be played. And I see that Integrity 101 is blowing up our feed, so we need to probably have him send him a link and let him come on. But I don't have a problem with and Zach Wilde worship those guys and love playing those songs. I've heard him at the guitar, all the Ride for Dimes and the what do they call it, the NAMM shows, and he always pays homage to Dimebag, who is an incredible, innovative guitarist, and obviously died way too early in a tragic manner. But I agree with you, Rob, that I don't think they should do new music. I think this should be a straight up tribute along the lines of the Unleaded thing that Page and Plant did.
Exactly.
And not try to change anything or do what, just play the songs like they were, like everybody expects them to be played, and then we move on. And yes, it's a huge cash grab. I don't care because I'm gonna go. Period. End of story. 2 thumbs up from me.
Okay. Scott?
You'll get no argument from me. I think it's a fantastic idea. I mean, I went to see Thin Lizzy play, and the only original member was there even an original member? I don't even think there was. I think Scott Gorham, and he's not even an original member, but yeah, a long-time member. And I just closed my eyes and enjoyed the whole damn show. It was so freaking good. It was just, old bandmates paying tribute to Thin Lizzy and keeping the music alive. I got no problem with it with Pantera either. So go for it, man. It's those guys were in the band too. They were there when they were writing the songs. Go for it.
Right. It's hard because of the brothers, and I think Chaz and Paragraph, I want to hear what you have to say. I can't shut up sometimes. You can just read the internet.
No, that's where I get that name from, because once I started, there's no.
I think Chaz and D-Rock and those guys, I think I'm saying that right, D-Rock. I'm screwing up. And Spicoli all had great points the other night in that we take it so personally because we all met those guys. We all saw those guys play the club. We saw it when Phil came into the band. We have all met them at shows. We have been, I haven't personally, but so many of you guys have been backstage with them. You've been side stage with them. My brother and I spent 30 minutes talking about cars with Daryl out back of a King's X show one night and talked about cars. I mean, nothing, you know, so we have that kind of relationship because for us they were a local band, and I'm saying so much of what they said on KNON.
Look at Baron's comment.
True, yeah. I hope not. But Paragraph, what do you think? You're a big Pantera fan.
Yeah. So the first, like, basically Pantera blew a hole open and sucked me into metal by hearing The Great Southern Trendkill, not having heard any other Pantera before, just from beat one all the way to the secret track that fades back up where they sloppy fill the end. And I was like,
right.
Holy shit. Yes, all of this. And then I looked at the credits, and you know, Trent Reznor did Phil's vocals and Nothing Studios, and that's why they're all the most demonic on that record, and it's all over the place because he's like, you know, you put like industrial production on a metal record. That's my favorite. The reunion, yes. No, I think the timing is perfect. So Lilith and I in ManifestIV, we met in mortuary school. So hold on. Yeah.
Yes.
Rewind. Say that again.
Lilith, the vibraphonist in ManifestIV, and myself, we met at Dallas Institute of Funeral Service. She is a funeral director in California, and I'm an embalmer and funeral director in the state of Texas. Licensed. I mean, I stopped practicing in the pandemic because it was a little, you know, health-wise not smart. And I focused on music, and it's been better. But it was kind of what got me through a lot of the early lame days. That's when I met John, when I was started to go to that school. So anyway,
that's beautiful. That is how more metal can a couple be, right?
Thank you so much. That's what I try to tell people. I'm like, come on, I'm the heaviest possible ever. I've cut like human thighs like before and after lunch at a chicken place. Like, come on, like heavy, right? And everybody's like, "Ew, don't tell me that. Ew, ew." I'm like, you're wearing skulls all over your shit.
Like, I love it. I'd rather.
Sounds like a death metal album cover to me.
Thank you. Yes. So all that said, life is super temporary, as we know with the Abbott brothers. Of course, no need to elaborate there. And I know Phil was completely wrecked with not being able to like patch things over the way he would have liked to. With Vinny, who was heartbroken because of, you know, all sorts of reasons and just perspectives and distortions and something that I found out on our last ManifestIV tour we just got off. It was really heavy. It hit me like a ton of bricks. We did a week in California, and we stayed. There's a band called Fleischkrieg. They're badass, like heavy American, but like German sounding industrial music. We were on tour with their keyboardist. Her solo act was named Nuda. Really cool, like dark wave solo goth chick, like dancing music, but like with 7 strings and like heavy stuff because she likes metal as well, and she mixes that. Anyway, we stayed at his guitarist's house. Their guitarist. His name is Thomas Crawford, and he lived in Ohio when, you know, Aurora, all that. And he saw Damageplan and Drowning Pool play the night before Aurora at what was the city? I think it was Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, whichever one that was. Cincinnati. Yeah. Cleveland. Thank you. I should know they're all C's, right? And it's all Ohio. He saw Drowning Pool open for Damageplan that night before what happened. And Nathan Gale also showed up to that. And he had grabbed like the stack of cabs that they had like to display over the heads. Because, you know, they were just walls of cabs, right? And he was just like during their performance, like fucking like rocking the whole thing. And it took like 3 or 4 cops and like security and, you know, Kat and Mayhem and everyone to peel him off the night before Aurora. So, and they were asked, and apparently in the Ohio scene, it was like, yeah, they talked about upping security at Aurora because this guy had showed up the night before, and they're like, no, he'll be fine. So like, that was like, there's a little bit of premeditation to that I have no fucking clue. And nobody who wasn't in Cleveland.
I've never heard that.
Knew about. Yeah. So I'm in Secret of Boris while I was gone on that tour. This first week of July, CJ Pierce from Drowning Pool. He's great friends of ours. We love him and his wife and his kids, and we've Lilith has painted their dog Kaiser. He's a great pit bull. He runs fast as shit. Anyway, CJ stood in for me at a Secret of Boris show at Trees. He learned my parts and like, you know, I did all his homework and like they practiced once together and it was awesome. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, oh, honored. I'm going to ask him next time I see him and be like, dude, do you remember that happening? Because you were on that date, like when he was like rocking the cabs. So either way, I thought as Pantera fans, that is definitely the deserving privileged information that everybody needs to know, because that makes it make more sense. It makes Vinny's heartbreak with the whole Phil thing make sense, because he's like, it was presented in a way to him media-wise to be part of the magazine's fault and the media fault, and yes, Phil was a villain because he was misquoted, taken out of context, wrong, and put on the cover of the magazine. The whole Kerrang! Metal Hammer fucking mess that was, the whole thing. He felt bad because he felt like it put two and two together for me that Vinny felt like he could have done more to prevent it because he saw what happened the night before and didn't take action. Maybe it's just a theory that I just kind of pieced together. Being schooled literally in grief psychology, that was one of the many courses at Dallas Institute. So that's a theory. Either way, life is temporary. Phil's not going to live forever. It's a miracle he's alive today. Okay, Rex, he's a specimen of man, but he's not going to live forever either. Yes, I'm glad this happened before, something stupid or Taylor Hawkins related or fucking Bob Saget related happened to Phil or Rex, and then there's less of a chance of this being anywhere near genuine, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I'm glad they did it now, but I'm glad they didn't do it sooner, like while Vinny was alive, and stirred all that up again. Not to disrespect or sidestep Vinny or in any way, but he walked with that heartbreak every single time and got on stage with Hell Yeah for like a decade. It's called complicated grief. It's a type of grief whenever it doesn't happen in a natural way and it doesn't quite ever get resolved. The funeral director, oh my God, speaking of Pantera, that trained me in Irving. I was his apprentice. He is the one that did Dimebag's service at Moore in Arlington. He, one time on the way to a service, he told me about how Rita and Vinny came in hour and a half late, reeking a crown, and as they all should be, all crying and hugging, as they all should have been, like Ben trying to do business at a time like that to fucking figure out, hey, can we get a kiss casket here in time, whatever, and all this shit. He organized the whole thing at Arlington Convention Center. With everybody flying in, Eddie Van Halen, Ozzy, Jerry Cantrell, whomever, Zach, and it was nuts. I'm like, did you geek out? And he's like, no, I'm more of a country guy. I talked to Jerry Abbott about Pentigo Sound and the country records that he'd done before his sons. But I was like, dude, that was crazy. Like to just have been that close to those events since then. And then before then too, I had a little bit of time with Dimebag backstage at Pledge of Allegiance, which was hilarious. And I never got to really talk with Vinny, and I told you about the Rex thing. Haven't met Phil yet. I want Phil and Lilith to get together and make a fucking awesome salad like he said he did on a Metal Grasshopper. Did you guys watch that?
Nice. Yes.
Yeah. And he's like, just shredded and dicing up cucumbers. He's like, good, fucking awesome. So, and Lilith, that's when she became a Phil fan, and then I schooled her kind of on the Phil side of Pantera, and she's with me, and like, oh my God, this band is too incredible to have ended that way too early. So yes, and more yes, I'll go, and then don't call it Pantera. I don't think what Integrity 101 was saying. I don't think they mean to record anything. They're really just tributing the music, and they're the best players for it. I think this whole Philadelphia Zone on the Illegals, tributing a lot of Pantera in their set, was also cool because they had and used two guitarists. Dime definitely double tracked. He didn't single track a lot of things besides his leads. So it sounded more like the record. And I feel like it might take a couple souls to make up for Dime. No offense, Zach. I mean, he's the most qualified person on earth to play all Dime's parts, but Pat Smear, Nirvana, have a second guitarist to make it thick or something, and show and highlight the fact that it's a tribute and that it's not trying to replace. You're attributing the music and you're attributing the brothers. Yeah.
Agreed. And also at a time when, and this is going to be a little bit transitional, but it's cool because I think we all think pretty much the same things, but this is going to transition into another topic that I want to see. Let me read this quote real quick. The Never in a Million Year Tribute, it's just about jamming some classic tunes. Yeah, I agree with that. Integrity 101, I agree with everything you've said. I think it's cool. We're pretty much all on the same page. But even if you disagree, we want to know that. We're totally cool. You know, we say what you want to say. No disrespect at all.
The only thing I worry about is, can they pull it off? Because I mean, the records, Terry Date is an amazing producer, and those things always sounded great. The records sounded great. The songs sound great. At this point in their careers, can they pull it off? That I will be the most curious about that.
That's why I'm saying this perfect timing, because it's now or almost never.
Yeah, well, and Phil has sounded good, even better over the past couple of years. Right. I think he's gotten better. I think he's gotten his voice a little in better shape. When we met him at
you go to Down?
War Beast or whatever it was at the Ridgely, he was in fantastic shape.
Yeah.
Now that's been a couple of years now, but still, I think he sounds better. I think he'll get. I think he'll make sure he's in his top form as he can be, and I think people are gonna eat it up. And yeah, there you go. Yep, Repo, you're exactly right, and I think he will.
He's had his life handed to him so many times. I think he knows better than to slip up or do anything, because he's been taken out of context and then overdosed on heroin a couple times. I feel like he's finally got his shit together.
I think so
I love
too.
him to death, and I hope to meet him and hug him and be like, "Thank you for surviving this long."
Yeah, and the thing too, this is where the show transitions a little bit. I believe that Pantera saved metal in the 90s. I fully believe that. They saved it. They kept metal relevant. They especially kept at the time, for me, that was a little on the extreme side. On the one you've been talking about,
Trendkill.
Yeah. Trendkill, Far Beyond Driven. To me, that was fairly extreme stuff for what I was listening to at the time. So I think they kept that relevant. But speaking of keeping metal relevant, as we shift away from Pantera, who here, show of hands, is an Eddie Munson fan, and why?
Eddie Munson?
Am
I the only one?
Refresh me.
Okay.
Is this the Stranger Things?
If you're a Stranger Things fan, they've got a metalhead character on there called Eddie Munson in season 4 or 5, whatever the.
All I'm thinking about, you're saying Eddie Munster. I'm like, is he pronouncing Munster wrong?
No. So he's a metalhead. He's got a. Hang on. Integrity 101. You are good to go, brother. Green light all the way around. Say whatever you need to say, brother. I appreciate you watching.
Absolutely.
But Eddie Munson, yes, I think so. Best metalhead character ever, maybe even better than Wayne and Garth. But
they were more classic
shows
rock.
Up, he shows up with his battle jacket on, Dio back patch from the freaking Dio estate. They gave it to the show for use on the show. And I don't want to give too much away if you haven't wrapped up Stranger Things, but there's an epic scene where Eddie Munson plays Master of Puppets. It's perfect placement of heavy metal music, of Metallica. And guess what? Master of Puppets freaking charted because of it.
You're kidding me. Well, because Kate Bush, naturally, right?
Because everybody's digging into Master of Puppets. Everybody's digging into Metallica. And for me, I know Metallica is probably the biggest metal band in the world, probably the biggest metal band ever. But guess what? They deserve every nickel they can get for what they've done. But it advances the cause of metal.
As a whole.
You can't get more mainstream than Stranger Things.
Right.
And they placed Metallica in there and not a new song. Master of Puppets, for crying out loud. So I love it. I thought it was a beautiful moment. I can't wait to see how this helps blow up metal. And I think with everybody investigating Metallica and now everybody going out and checking out this Pantera show, it's just going to make metal bigger and bigger and bigger, which that's just great for us.
Well,
I also think
perfect timing.
I also think what Metallica said about the whole situation, with fans kind of screaming about poser fake fans from the whole thing, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody's welcome to listen to our music, and I thought it was pretty classy.
Yeah, they didn't like the whole, gatekeepers. Yeah. Exactly what you said, and I thought it was awesome of them to actually acknowledge it. First of all, I'm sure they were involved in the placement of the music in the show. I can't believe they wouldn't be. Right, although maybe that just happened in the background with licensing, as we've talked about before.
Never fun.
But I just love it. I think it advances the cause of metal, and I'm really stoked about it.
Well, yeah, hopefully
Greg,
things like
Greg, you boys the other night, I listened as long as I could. I listened till about 11 o'clock. I thought you guys covered every single point that we had and more. And it was awesome. I've listened to all. I've still got a few minutes left of the show to listen to, but I thought you guys covered it great. So cheers to you, brother. And let's see. Are y'all going to answer my question?
Please re-ask, Fraser Dawson. What is the question? We can't scroll.
Let me go find. Hang on.
Actually, he can.
He said something about Ronnie Monroe joining Vicious Rumors, but I didn't know that was a question. I thought that was a statement of fact.
It is a statement.
Oh no, he said it's right up there, Rob. You'll find it. It's about James Rivera and Hellstar. There it is.
For you Texas boys, if Hellstar James Rivera, something happens to him, he thinks should keep it going, or you think they should call it quits? That's up to the boys in the band. I mean, it's.
Why should they quit?
I believe that you should take every opportunity.
Production value.
Take advantage of every opportunity you can to make money from whatever you created. That's why I think Phil was just as much of a part, and Rex, of creating that music, that legacy that is going to be celebrated. So I'm cool with it. If the brothers live, Pantera reunites. I don't think there is any way they don't reunite if the brothers live. So the next best thing we've got, because unfortunately, rest in peace to Diamond, Vinny, this is what we get. And so you can take it or leave it. It's like, do you want the last Pink Floyd album that came out, The Endless River? Oh, do you want a bunch of pieces? God, this is just all leftover shit they didn't use. No. Do you want more Pink Floyd, or do you want no more Pink Floyd? Do you want more Pantera, quotes, if whatever you want to call it, or do you want less? Well, I'll take more. And I'm a fan of Phil as a frontman, and I think he contributed to the band. And I'm a fan of Rex. I got to meet Rex at a King's X show one time, very briefly. I don't know the man. I don't know any of them. He was very nice to me, and I've seen him pay attention to me when I was a 18-year-old kid when they had no business paying me any attention, and they did. So
that's cool.
Nice guys. I'm excited. And there's been controversy. I'm not excusing any of the controversy and any of the shit we've all seen on video. But as far as them being able to do what they want to do with their art and their music, yes, do it. I'm there. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's the whole reason any of us get into music and making music in the first place, or art. It's because it is immortal. It is going to outlast us. So if somebody stops playing something because somebody who wrote it died, never play for release again. Come on, like happy birthday? No. Come on. Like it's there to outlive you. So if other people are willing to play it, like if, the fact that, like I said, CJ learned my parts and we're both alive, that was awesome. Like if I passed, I would definitely want like anybody who can even just halfway get through the song to have fun with the music.
And nobody cried about the Illegals doing their thing. They loved it.
Yeah, no, it was incredible, especially for the entire generation that didn't see him live.
Yeah, and
that right there is a statement I've been saying the whole time. For a whole generation that never got to see him live, just like I never got to see Thin Lizzy with Phil, but I got to see Thin Lizzy keeping the music alive, even though it wasn't with Phil. And that's the same thing you're going to get with the Pantera.
And also, what's one of the biggest things going in music right now? Tribute bands. Oh my God, tribute bands are cleaning up. And this is not a tribute.
You're not lying. I'm in 4.
Yeah, this is not a
I'm not
tribute
shitting
band.
you. I'm not shitting you. I'm Marilyn Manson. I drum in Rammstein. I play guitar in Nine Inch Nails, and I play guitar in Limp Bizkit.
Right on.
And it fucking pays for this shit. That record was all fucking tribute money. It was like it was close to a 5-digit record, and it was literally like 10 nights of work over a couple.
Yeah,
okay, play 90 minutes of the shit that I grew up playing. Cool. I get to wear cornstarch too. I get to cosplay.
Right. There's a Pantera tribute band here in Dallas. Nobody's crying about that. So why are you crying about 2 of the main guys doing the music?
Right.
I don't get it. I respect your opinion, and if you don't want to go, that's totally cool. I would never fight you in the parking lot. I will love you, give you a big old metal hug and a metal round table pin, and thank you for watching. If you disagree, it's all good. I think it's awesome.
A word to kind of what you were saying about like breaking metal back into the mainstream. And yes, Integrity 101 was right that this will heal the fan base. The tour will heal the fan base because the Abbots would be broken up about how stupid it's gotten. It's like it perpetuates Nathan Gale. I thought we were supposed to erase him from fucking history. He's an asshole. Let's not continue to like be bad at each other. We both like Pantera. Fuck it. Come together. Okay, so I know the drummer of the Pantera tribute. He's in an original band called Lost Art Legacy. They're like psychedelic, like hip hop, but like with live huge toms and shit, and they're incredible. And then he pulls off all Vinny's parts amazingly, and the shows sound awesome. It's the music that we're in love with in the first place, and the fact that metal is breaking into mainstream is so necessary for society right now because so many people spent 2 years being fucking lied to and being stuck inside or whatever you want to call what the fuck just happened with the 2020s, right? Everybody's angry. And what better to tap into that than to share your anger with others in a safe way to help heal than metal? Am I wrong?
I love metal.
It's society needs it as a whole. It needs to be how it was in the 90s where fucking Far Beyond Driven was #1. Yeah, you need to carry that with a tape of fucking Strength Beyond Strength coming out of it. That's right. Like, and we're an earplug, so you can hear more metal in the future. But
I guarantee you, I played for sure the first 3 Pantera albums on this boombox.
Damn. So, I mean, do any of you guys have an opinion about, like, if anybody's obsessed with Trendkill, as I am, why would they cut off Suicide Note Part 1 from the vinyl?
Probably that's the slowest. It wouldn't fit.
If they're going to cut one song, right? Yeah, I'm with you on that. It was just so heartbreaking because it tied the record together for me. But yeah, I get it.
Scott and I deal with this all the time.
All the time.
Okay.
All the time.
When we're run out of space and have to pick one.
Yeah, you basically have 24 minutes of music per side. Once you start adding on to that 24 minutes and you get closer to 30 minutes per side, your volume goes down, so your sound quality goes down. And once you get over 30, you can't put anything on it. You can't do over 30. So
so keep it under 24 per side then.
Right.
At least 26 per side. Yep, 26 per side is like max.
Is pushing it. We've crammed 30 minutes on there, and it just, I won't say it degrades it to the point where it's unlistenable or terrible, but you definitely see the drop off. 24 is the sweet spot. Anything under that is beautiful.
Like the Kiefer Sutherland TV show.
Yeah, and so that's what the deal.
That makes sense.
Unfortunately, a lot of that music in the 90s was all CD only, so everybody was doing, how can I fill up that stuff?
Typo negative. They were sure to fill up every single CD, like with 74 minutes of shit. Speaking of drummers and tributes, when I was tributing Rammstein, we played with All Hallows Eve, a Typo Negative tribute, and John. Please let me say his name right. Johnny Kelly, the drummer for Typo Negative. He lives in Frisco, and their drummer was not so he drummed for the Typo Negative tribute after me, like in the same spot on the stage. I'm like, oh my god,
that's awesome.
This is just Rammstein. It's just 4 to the floor. I promise. I'm just wearing cans. I'm gonna do perfect in front of fucking huge influence. The reason why I line my cymbals up like that, because he's like, when I saw him at Trees with Lacuna Coil in 2003, that was the last time I saw Dimebag alive. I gave him a lame demo CD as he got into the limo to lead them to the clubhouse and was supposed to meet him there and didn't, and have regretted it, you know, a little bit. But yeah, no, Typo Negative, they were incredible live, and I met Johnny Kelly then. And years later, he's drumming after me, so I'm like, this kind of starstruck. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, it was awesome. So
thank God you're not Gene Hoglan. I would shit my ass.
Oh, we interviewed him. He's a super nice guy.
Huh?
Hey, go back.
He lost like a lot of weight too. That was awesome.
Go back and look at our old episodes because we interviewed Gene on the Testament Anthrax tour. He was so nice, but the stories that he tells, you got to go back and listen to his stories.
Okay.
So real quick, we need to wrap it up. So I want to go around the horn and just say, let's just talk about a brief interaction. Let's do our own celebration of Pantera. Let's be real quick. I met Daryl. I met everybody in the band. I met Philip 2 or 3 times. He was very nice to me. I met Daryl several times. He was always very nice to me. I took a leak between him and Rex at the old Starplex Amphitheater. One time we all walked and talked and peed together and then left again, and then we talked about cars. So I had nothing but good interactions, and most recently I ran into Phil, courtesy of the Carcass, and the Shell Beast was able to get an interaction and recreate a 30-year-old picture, which was awesome. What about you, Carcass? I know you've had lots of interaction.
Well, I remember standing in line at Psycho Las Vegas, and the entourage for Down walked in, and they picked me out of a line. I was just in a line with hundreds of other people waiting to get into the merch room, and they took time to stop and come by and give me a handshake. And Phil did his infamous forehead-to-forehead Viking. I've learned now that that's a Viking thing. It's a show of ultimate respect and affection, that forehead-to-forehead deal. He was very his very nice as a remembering a tribute to my son. So I have a fond place in my heart for Phil, and you know what, I admire the fact that he's kind of persevered through all the turmoil and tempest and too many negative waves, man, and has finally arrived at this point where they're gonna do this, and I just have a feeling it's gonna be epic, and people explosive, even the naysayers, because I remember even when the War Beast thing here locally was hot and heavy, Phil was the production guy. They did the recording there, and he was the one that changed the name from Texas Metal Alliance to War Beast, and I got to work with him on the logo, and he had some great ideas, and it was always just it was a unique experience to be around him. And so and he's, like Taylor mentioned, he's had his life handed to him more than once, but he does have a keen sense of music and history, and he does remember the super important things in life. And I know that he wanted this thing to go. I saw the animosity because our good friend Bruce Corbett had this new project, this War Beast thing. There were people in town, at least here in DFW, that didn't want to support the thing because Phil was involved. That's how the animosity and the snippiness got. And now, I think, to your point, that music has mended the fences and things are finally coming together. I think it's going to be epic. I'm going to be there. I don't care if I have to pay. No favors for me. I'm happy to pay the band because this thing's going to be on like Donkey Kong. And I might even, headbang a little bit. I don't know about the pit, but, you never know. At my age, you want to be safe, but not at a Pantera show. You surely don't.
God, I've been in the pit at the old Arcadia Theater.
You want to stop like
oh, my God, I was treated like a volleyball. I went up to do a stage dive, and the security guys were like, nope, and the crowd was like, nope, and I'm just ass over tea kettle, just, oh my God, scared the shit out of me, and I went back up to the cheap seats. Scott, did you ever interact with those guys at all?
Nope, never peed with them, never was in a studio with Phil, so I just like the music. Just did a video though that's out right now on my other channel, where we did the top 35 metal albums from 1990, and Pantera was definitely in the top 10 with Cowboys from Hell, of course.
Yeah. Nice.
So,
Man,
Paragraph, take us out with your experience,
Diamond,
and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah.
Just a month after 9/11 happened, they had a Pledge of Allegiance tour. They being Slipknot, System of a Down, Rammstein, No One, Mudvayne, and Pantera wasn't on it. But I managed to get backstage. I was going to try to like run on stage during Slipknot's Pyro with a jester mask and do a cheerleader dance to one of their breakdowns, and it didn't pan out. But it was still a great idea. And I got pretty close, and then Pyro's like, Pyro! I'm like, whoa! So then I go to this other hallway, and Dimebag's talking to a couple people. And I'm like, oh, hey. And I'm like, me and Cameron Taylor, the singer of both Secret of Boris and Lame. He met Vinny a few times, but since then, but I was the only one that this is the first time to an opportunity to meet somebody from Pantera. Oh my God, especially Dimebag. So I have a cell phone. He has a cell phone in the crowd. We're the only people we know with cell phones since 2001. And I walk up to Dime, like I call Cameron, and he doesn't hear it because he's in an arena crowd, right? It's a crappy little Motorola like phone, little brick candy bar phone. So it goes to voicemail, and I get excited, and Dime sees me trying to catch his attention, and I'm like, hey, don't want to interrupt, but my best friend, he's not gonna believe that this is you. So can you please just? And before I got an opportunity to tell him it was a voicemail, he was like, hey, motherfucker, you better goddamn believe it. This is motherfucking Dimebag Daryl from Pantera backstage, the only Dimebag you're ever gonna be. Hello, hey, you there? I'm like, dude, it's a voicemail. It's a voicemail. He's like, oh my fucking God, I feel like a motherfucking piece of shit right now. Anyway, this is Dimebag. You and your voicemail better fucking believe it. Thank you, sir. And they hugged and then like signed, and then like all the people that were there like gave him.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah. And then we saved that message for months and tried to capture it and never quite had enough cables to do it. So it's just memories and stories now.
I have one. Let me see if it doesn't show the number. I have one voicemail saved on my phone. One.
Oh, no way.
James Rivera.
Oh.
I will save that as long as I can save it. If I can figure out how to get it off my phone, I will. But he left me a voicemail one time that meant a lot to me, and this is when I was listening to him.
Tell you what, let's stay in touch about vinyl mastering, and I will help you get that off your phone and know exactly how to do it. It's simple. I have the cables now. Yeah. It's not 2001 anymore.
Scott and I can help you with all that. So one last thing before we go. I want you to tell everybody real quick where they can get the stuff from your bands, except for Lame. Obviously, that's going to be hard to get. But tell them where they can go to get your stuff, and then we'll do our plugs, and then we'll get out of here.
Absolutely. So thankfully both the names have a good SEO, which is search engine optimization for Google. If you just Google ManifestIV, you'll find everything. ManifestIV.com, ManifestIV.bandcamp.com. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Everything is /ManifestIV. The name was actually taken from my handle for everything as the internet started. I have a YouTube account from like 2006. So everything /ManifestIV is us. Same thing with Secret of Boris, spelled out like that, like Boris Karloff or Yeltsin or whatever generation, whatever the British guys with the Snowvid party, whatever the fuck that was called, Snowvid party. That was Texas. Oh, I'm getting my continents mixed up. Secretofboris.bandcamp.com. I think there might be a .net. I wouldn't recommend going there. You might get some malware, maybe some accidental porn. Like the old Porn Lab, like the old Porn Lab site back in the day, pornlab.net. Did y'all ever go to that?
Never saw it.
Yeah, no, it had actual porn. It was great. But yeah, Secret of Boris does not online. Look for us online. And streaming everywhere. You can get music, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Tidal, your mom.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, dude. Paragraph. It's very nice.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you. Let's stay in touch about mastering and getting that voicemail off your phone.
Yeah, awesome. So you can reach me on Instagram at IamMetalRob. We've got merch at anchormerchandising.com. You can reach the Carcass at CarcassJohnArt. You can reach Scott on YouTube.
I'm just Paragraph Taylor. Paragraph Taylor. You can reach me at Paragraph Taylor, all one word.
Boom. And
Instagram,
then
Twitter, all that shit.
You can meet, or you can find Scott on YouTube by just searching Scott Waters. I would not recommend searching Scott Cool Still Waters. Who knows what you'll get. But
what if you search Scott Yo Mama Waters? Is that gonna like?
I don't know.
I don't know. I changed my nickname.
He changes
it every week. So
you might wind up at that Porn Lab site.
Yo Mama Waters sounds like a seltzer.
Yo Mama.
Yeah, you'll end up at the Porn Lab site.
Right.
You never know.
Don't try that. You know.
All right, boys. Well, that's it for episode 143. You know how we do it. Until next time.
Metal.
Nope, I screwed it again.
You screwed the
outro.
You screwed the pooch here.
It's all right. That pooch.
There we go.
Bye.
Take 2. Until next time. Metal
will prevail.